On this edition of Southern Newsweek, Health Minister Andrew Little was in town to mark the start of the construction phase for the new Dunedin Hospital. Bright lights draw large crowds to downtown Queenstown, and the National Party leader visits Dunedin businesses. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Hannah Wilkins. The start of the construction phase for the new Dunedin Hospital was marked with a formal ceremony this month. Health Minister Andrew Little was in town to check out the site and added some timely items to a special time capsule.
Dunedin's new hospital is finally under construction.
Yeah, this is really significant. This project has been talked about for a long time. David Clark sort of really got the momentum going when he was Health Minister. It's been great to be able to follow through and push through. We've got a budget in place, we've got the planning well underway, and now we've got construction starting. So we'll have an outpatients building by 2025, still on track, and then inpatients building to follow in 2028.
The first phase of Dunedin's $1.47 billion hospital project is being built on the site of the old Cadbury chocolate factory, which will be the inpatient building. Health Minister Andrew Little says the government's making allowances for current pressures in the construction industry, which are forcing prices higher and could cause a budget blowout.
Yeah, there's always contingency, and we know that cost escalations are a fact of life right now in construction. We're looking at about $1.4 billion for the project at this point, currently budgeted, but there's contingency on top of that.
He says the new Dunedin Hospital build is one of the biggest infrastructure projects ever undertaken in Aotearoa, New Zealand. It's planned to have 421 beds, 16 operating theatres and 30 high-dependency beds. A special time capsule will be sealed into the new building, with Minister Little contributing a rapid antigen test and a signed N95 mask. The hospital building will boast 5 Green Star accreditation, including double glazing and low-energy intelligent lighting systems, using natural daylight wherever possible. The construction phase is expected to create nearly 1,000 full-time jobs and add $429 million to the local economy. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Like moths to a flame, the bright lights of the Lumify Laneways Festival drew large crowds into downtown Queenstown last weekend. Visitors were enchanted by light and sound installations, with 35 performance artists turning the town's alleyways into interactive wonderlands.
Lighting up the streets of Queenstown. Lumify Laneways has kicked off in Queenstown, running from Friday through to Monday. The bright and colourful event takes place in the Queenstown CBD, Searle Lane, Cow Lane, Church Lane and Lower Beach Street, showcasing a range of artistic work throughout the weekend.
I'm so proud of it. It's really exciting, and there's just some of the most epic creators in New Zealand who contributed to what you're going to see this weekend.
In previous years, Luma was held in the Queenstown Garden and along the lakefront. Due to COVID-19, the main event was cancelled this year and downsized to a smaller setting. The local streets provide an intimate feel and an immersive experience for all ages. Local businesses are also at the forefront of the foot traffic as they see the benefit created by the popular showing. Composer for Lumify Laneways, Peter Hobbs, says the event has the potential to breathe more life into the town's streets.
I know that the past festival, we had 60,000 people through, so anything we can do to bring some more vibrancy here and bring some more people into town I'm hoping is a wonderful thing for the community here. Yeah.
Friday evening marked the first spectacle of the festival, with many themes to be seen throughout. Costumes and makeup were not shy of making appearances, as actors and performers took to the streets to add to the atmospheric night.
Yeah. We feel that we let them enjoy themselves one night a year, and we feel that's
why we do Lumify.
Yes.
Running throughout Queen's birthday weekend, the enchanting experience has something for everyone and brings a bit of excitement to the local streets. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Advocacy from Dunedin's elected representatives around a change in electoral law has paid off. People running for council were previously required to list their addresses on campaign advertising, but the government has now confirmed it intends to change the law over safety concerns.
Maintaining some privacy while running for office is now possible for candidates across the country, thanks in part to lobbying by Dunedin politicians. First-term councillor Sophie Barker was among those who argued the requirement to list their home address on campaign advertising was outdated. She's planning to put her hat in the ring again and is glad the changes will ease safety concerns.
Yeah, because I think that there's quite a toxic environment out there on social media, and people are just unhappy at the moment for many different things, and if you are going to go into public office, it's good to have a little bit of privacy at home.
And it's those security concerns which led Dunedin Mayor Aaron Hawkins to call on the Electoral Commission to make changes. The government agreed with the safety concerns raised by potential candidates, with the changes set to happen in time for this year's local body elections. Councillor Barker believes having to list their private street address on posters could have prevented some good people from putting their names forward.
Because I feel like it puts people off. There's always that question of safety. Public politics is very public, and having your home address having to be printed and slammed everywhere, I guess, is just makes you feel a little unsafe.
Barker's planning to recycle her hoardings from last election, while keeping busy with the correction fluid. The Electoral Commission says candidates will now have a wider range of options to choose from, including a PO box, phone number or website address. In Dunedin, the South Today.
National Party leader Christopher Luxon was warmly welcomed in town as he opened a new Dunedin business. Collab HQ has assembled a collection of housing and property businesses in one space, with the aim of working together.
Officially opening a unique property services hub in Dunedin. National Party leader Christopher Luxon visited the offices of Collab HQ on Thursday in Kaikorai Valley to check out the new venture. During his visit, Luxon says the National Party will not automatically support a bid by the government to authorise a second COVID-19 booster. He wants to see the legislation first and feels similar about proposals to rename New Zealand as Aotearoa.
You don't just go make those decisions unilaterally. We have a great tradition in this country. When we wanted to think about changing our flag, you make your case, you make the argument to the New Zealand people, you spend some political capital, explain what you want to do, and then they decide on constitutional issues like that.
Touring the Collab HQ facility, Luxon applauded the work and innovation of owners Andrea and Andrew Elliott.
Businesses that are in the property sector to come into a collaborative space. Some really fantastic work from Andrew and Andrea here as entrepreneurs taking a risk, making things happen, and that's something the National Party is all about, supporting and seeing entrepreneurs do this sort of work.
Collab HQ is a collaborative operation for housing and property businesses, with the aim of building relationships in the industry. The co-working space is similar to other ventures like Peachy Dish, offering offices for lease, but with a specific focus on the property sector. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Whai Akane. After the break on Southern Newsweek, Dunedin's Forsyth Bar House redevelopment offers an impressive new look over the central city. We'll give you a peek. And a big muster and celebration of utes goes ahead in Southland. Tēnā koe, welcome back. For those wanting to see Dunedin's spectacular scenery, Forsyth Bar House might be the place to go. The recently redeveloped building has a perspective of Dunedin most would be jealous of. It's the best view in the house, Forsyth Bar House that is. The 10th floor of the newly redeveloped building in the Upper Octagon has $1 million expansive views of Dunedin City from an outdoor deck. It completes a massive transformation of the building, both inside and out, with Forsyth Bar taking up the top 4 floors. The development's a legacy of the late Sir Eon Edgar, who spent nearly 50 years with the investment firm and was a part owner of the building. His efforts have been acknowledged and honoured with a plaque in the building. In Dunedin, the South Today. Some of the facades of derelict buildings south of Dunedin's exchange area will be inspected to see if they can be made safe. Several buildings on Princes Street have been vacant for years and are now deemed dangerous.
These fences suddenly appeared around a series of empty buildings in Princes Street last week after concerns were raised about public safety. The derelict buildings themselves are in extreme state of disrepair, but some groups are pushing to have the heritage facades inspected to see if they can be made safe. Dangerous building notices were issued to the previous owners, but nothing's been done. with long-standing disagreement about how development might proceed while preserving the area's character. A report has now been commissioned by the Dunedin City Council's Heritage Advisor about legally protecting the facades of these buildings as their backsides crumble away. Engineers say some buildings are in a state of partial collapse, with others at risk if one collapsed. The City Council can take court action if the dangerous building notices are not complied with, including to have remedial work to be carried out at the owner's expense. Chairwoman of the Southern Heritage Trust, Jo Gaylor, claims demolition has been happening through maintenance neglect, which she describes as an appalling situation. She's urging the council to maintain heritage preservation as a priority. The Christchurch-based building owners have been given 6 months to make the buildings safe. In Dunedin, the South Today.
An event celebrating the love of utes was held last year in Southland for the first time as part of the Tussock Country Music Festival. And while that event got cancelled this year due to COVID-19, that didn't stop the big muster from going ahead.
Arriving at their much-loved form of transport, around 200 people, many proudly sporting mullets, hopped into their utes and drove to Waimumu at the weekend to celebrate their appreciation of the vehicles. The event near Gore attracted an assortment of utes, with the turnout exceeding the expectations of organisers.
But we think 80 to 90 utes, which is a better turnout than last year, so we like that. There's some great utes come from all around the southern region. Very glad that everybody's turned up in force today with the dogs and the mullets.
The first ever Hokanui Ute Muster was held in 2021 as part of the Tussock Country Music Festival. Unfortunately, that event was cancelled this year due to COVID-19, but organisers were determined to ensure the muster itself still went ahead.
So far so good. Great turnout. We're out here at Southern Field Day Shed. First year that we've had it here in this indoor location. It's wonderful, protected from the wind.
Along with the utes, dogs and rugged hairstyles, the event also raised money to help fund Rural Support Southland.
Love the event actually, and the cause is just awesome. So, like everybody today, mental health is a big thing and we're trying to support that.
And for one ute owner, it's the rugged look to the vehicle which he likes.
Designed to look like it's been outside in the elements all of its life, and I'm not going to get rid of that look. I want to keep it. I love it. I'm not going to fix any dents, and I'm also just going to use it all the time, so it's going to end up with more dents and more scratches, and that's just the way that I like it.
However, it was Wayne Horton's 1976 Holden HX 1-tonner which left as the GWD People's Choice overall winner. In Gore, the South Today.
Queenstown business owner Mel Stadler has taken the waves of construction in the tourist town into her own hands. She's put up pieces of thought-provoking art outside her surreal bar and restaurant with the aim of brightening up the current look of Queenstown's CBD.
Making the best of a frustrating situation. Owner of Surreal Bar and Restaurant, Mel Stadler, has taken the opportunity to add some colour to Queenstown CBD. A large number of construction projects are tearing up the town's streets, spurring the innovative business owner to try and make the best of the situation. She's displayed a series of artworks along the street attached to the construction fences and giving brighter feel outside the Reece Street establishment.
Well, obviously with the beautification of the street and the upgrading of the infrastructure, fencing had to go up. And I just thought to make the street a little bit more appealing and hopefully encourage a bit more foot traffic, that I decided to start putting some art up.
While Stadler initially tried to ignore the noisy construction work, the artful idea took her thoughts in another direction. The artworks range from portraits of animals through to pieces by Ukrainian artists, and all follow a street art theme. Stadler says it's hard to choose a favourite from the selection.
It changes all the time. I like pretty much all of them. The elephant's probably one of my favourites.
Construction work in Queenstown looks set to continue for a little while yet, despite the gradual return of international tourists. And while Stadler's not sure whether the impromptu gallery has improved the foot traffic outside a restaurant, she's just happy to see people admiring the art. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Gore was the place to be over Queen's birthday for truck lovers for the town's annual show. Mack trucks drove down to Gore from all around the South Island, with the turnout even surprising organisers.
A parade of Mack trucks along Gore's main drag. An enthusiastic crowd enjoyed the parade of around 140 trucks as they made their way through the Southland town on Saturday. The Gore Truck Show's been held for the last 50 years, with organisers keen to showcase Mack trucks this year to celebrate the brand's 50th year in New Zealand.
There's been a good crowd here. The other guys we've had on site have done well, so yeah, we've had a good day.
9-year-old Jackson Brown has been to the truck show before and has just 2 words to describe this year's lineup.
Pretty cool.
The Queen's Birthday weekend event attracted a good number of owners, with around 30 more trucks on show this year compared to 2021. In Gore, the South Today.
After the break on Southern Newsweek, rally drivers take to the forest roads in icy Canterbury conditions. And the government is funding a $16 million shortfall for a Christchurch sports facility as the costs rise. Tēnā koe, welcome back. The Lone Star Rally of Canterbury took to the forest roads recently with 43 entries behind the wheel. Ahead of them lay 120 kilometres of slippery, muddy gravel roads, along with a few icy corners.
The Lone Star Rally of Canterbury makes rally drivers work hard for their wins, and Sunday's running of the event proved no exception. Pre-race favourite, Robbie Stokes of Waikuku, roared away first, winning the first stage by 2 seconds. But then he suffered a mechanical failure at the start of Special Stage 2, leaving the race wide open to his biggest challengers, fellow Cantabrians Josh Marston and Matt Summerfield. The 7 special stages through the Ashley and Akura forest roads in North Canterbury dished up a cocktail of fast but slippery corners. Roads were muddy from recent rains in the open, while under the trees areas were still frozen from overnight frosts. The challenging conditions adding to the fun for all competitors.
I'm down a gear. We did the first stage with no notes, so it was quite interesting.
But are you having fun?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, we're back here. Awesome weekend. Just hope it stays like this.
Casey came home in 7th place, 9 minutes behind eventual winner Josh Marston. Ahoka's Matt and Nicole Summerfield, New Zealand's best-known brother and sister rallying combination, came home in 3rd spot driving an older car, saying they'd had a blast with lots of speed, mega sideways and plenty of smiles. In Rangiora, the South Today.
The government has agreed to fund an extra $16 million for a new Christchurch sports facility after costs spiralled out of control. The price tag for the long-awaited Parakiora Recreation and Sports Centre keeps rising, with the extra money covering increases in materials and shipping costs.
Another of Christchurch's rebuild anchor projects is facing rising costs, but this time the government is picking up the tab. The construction cost of the Parakiora Recreation and Sports Centre has increased by $16 million to $317 million. But that figure is likely to climb as further COVID-related costs are added. The Recreation and Sports Centre bordering Morehouse Ave will be the largest aquatic and indoor sports facility of its kind in New Zealand. It will include a 10-lane, 50-metre pool with seating for more than 1,000 spectators, a diving pool, 9 indoor sports courts and 5 hydroslides. The estimated construction date of the 30,000 square metre facility has been pushed back to late 2023. In Christchurch, the South Today.
A group of West Gore school pupils have benefited from a cross-country academy run at the school recently. The school says the children showed a noticeable improvement in their fitness since last year's cross-country.
And they're off. Pupils from West Gore School were well prepared for their annual school cross-country event this week. The run, held on the Gillies farm in Waimumu, followed a special 6-week cross-country academy run by the HIT studio.
It was quite cool to see the competitiveness with some of them, or the, not competitiveness, but their commitment, I guess, which was cool. And then, even today we've had a lot of kids coming up saying how much they improved and their places that they've changed from last year to this year, which has been really good.
Fitness instructor Christy Clark put the children through an intensive stretching and warm-up routine to prepare them for the 1 to 2 kilometre race. Associate Principal Rebecca Prattley noticed a big improvement in the fitness of the school's pupils, with many challenging themselves to improve on previous times.
Absolutely, we have had children track their time over a distance of 2 kilometres, and some of them have actually shaved a couple of minutes off their time, which is fantastic.
The senior pupils ran a 2-kilometre course, while the juniors tackled a 1-kilometre event. Bradley says it was great to have a school cross-country run the way it should be, with hills and mud. Cade Lithgow finished first in the 10-year-old boys event.
It was quite hard. We had to do 2k and it was like a round of fun.
And after their race was run, there was time to cool off tired muscles on a water slide. The school says the event helped pupils identify the goals they wanted to reach, putting their best foot forward to achieve them. In Gore, the South Today.
That wraps up this edition of Southern Newsweek. For the latest news and videos from the Southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.